Hey everybody, so today we are going to talk about using the breath to calm the body and the nervous system. So when we calm the nervous system, we're doing a couple things. First of all, we are reducing excitatory neurotransmitters, which could reduce pain. We are also reducing them for certain symptoms that might be related to that. And we will also be calming and regulating the immune system when we calm the nervous system. We'll also be regulating digestion. So a lot of things are getting regulated when we use the breath to calm the nervous system. With the trickle down effect, which is when you do something and then a couple steps later, it later eventually affects other areas, such as calming the neurotransmitters. One of the trickle down effects is that the immediate effect is that it calms the digestive system so that you can digest better. And then over time, if you can do that regularly, it will then create better hormone balance. So obviously there's a lot of good reasons to calm the nervous system, as well as just feeling better in our bodies, such as reducing anxiety and depression. So today I'm going to talk about two types of breathing. One that I don't recommend doing unless you need that for a reason for physical performance, and another one that we're going to use in order to rest better, in order to digest better, and in order to heal better. So notice I said rest, digest, and heal, which are the exact opposite of fight, flight, or freeze. So what this is going to accomplish is it's going to take us out of fight or flight, put us into rest, digest, and heal. So this is a great thing to use. So those specific things are great triggers to remember to utilize this or to practice this. You can practice this for anywhere as little as 5 breaths, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or longer, up to 20 minutes, an hour, however long that you feel is necessary. So the first thing that you just saw me do was take a deep breath. So first I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to first put a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly. I want you to sit up straight, but I want you to do it in a way that is comfortable to you. And I want you to take a deep breath. So I actually am more comfortable slouching, so I'm going to settle in. Now, if you took a deep breath and you felt this hand do all the moving, then what that basically tells me is that your entire body is in fight or flight. So that looks like this. So if your shoulders raise when you do that, that means that your body is in fight or flight. We do that when we're running. We do that when we're obviously flight, that's flight. We do that when we're exercising. Anytime we need to get shallow breaths, we might do that also in play. So like dogs breathe like that when they're in play, when they're very happy, because they're also exercising. And so what that does is it sends a message to our brain that we are in fight or flight. Whereas I'm going to show you what I'd rather you do. If you've done singing lessons or music lessons and you've had to learn diaphragmatic breathing, then that's what this is on a technical level. But for the layperson, we're going to call it soft belly breathing. We're going to breathe with the soft part of our belly is what that means. So let's put our hands back there. Let's take another deep breath. Now we hope that advanced would be to do this where only the bottom hand moves. That takes a little while. So if you're just beginning out, then you may have both move. It may be very difficult. This may actually be easier to lay down. So if you want to lay down and try this again, we can do that again. So let's do one more breath. I'll give you time to kind of lay down. Put both hands on your areas, one on your chest, one on your belly. Take another deep breath. And it's probably a lot easier when you're laying down. Other things that might make this more difficult is a hiatal hernia, which also causes you to be more in fight or flight. There are ways that you can work with one of our coaches to kind of get your body out of that, to help put your team together to kind of undo the hiatal hernia, get your body out of fight or flight, get digestion going, etc. But today we're just going to talk about breathing. And this breathing definitely is part of that. And it's also part of being able to get out of a hiatal hernia, release that hiatal hernia, and also be able to maintain that release. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 5 breaths. That's my minimum. And we're going to do 5 soft belly breaths. So if you want to do this laying down, do it laying down. If you want to do this sitting, you absolutely can do this sitting, whichever you're more comfortable. I like to be up against something, so I actually have pillows behind me. so that I am more relaxed when I'm doing this. So here we go again. We're going to do 5 breaths. And close your eyes if you want. That's 2. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Now, obviously, you should feel very calm right now. If you don't feel calm, then keep practicing. The better you get at soft belly breathing, the more it will calm your body down. This is absolutely great to practice before rest, such as before you're sleeping, or if you need to feel more restful, such as when you're stressed. The second time that I recommend practicing this is before you try to digest. So rest and digest. So a lot of people will pray before they eat, and if you're not a prayer, you can just breathe. But even if you are praying, then I recommend that you utilize the breath in that prayer. Some people will talk about spiritually connecting with the breath, so that there's a connection there between connecting with the breath and prayer itself. So regardless of what your beliefs are, it's a great way to kind of calm the body, center the spirit, and get ready to digest our foods and calm our body so we can. That also means that we're going to get more nutrients out of our food. So if you're working really hard to get more nutrients in you, this is a way to utilize your food better and get more out of every single bite. And then also when you want to heal. So obviously when you are any healing, whether it be chronic illness or an injury such as a broken leg or anything like that, you want to spend more time in rest, digest, and heal, and less time out of fight, flight, or freeze, because you cannot heal, you cannot rest, and you cannot digest if you are in fight, flight, or freeze. When we're in chronic pain, our body tends to view that as a chronic stress, and that means that we are kind of being shoved in that fight, flight, or freeze. So utilizing the breath much as a woman would during birth. She uses the breath to kind of fight against the pain, fight against the stress on her body, and to calm the body down so that it will be a more peaceful environment as the child enters the world, so that the child will feel less stress also. And she's less likely to have stress and consequences of that. So it's a great time to utilize. You want to spend as much time as possible during a healing journey. So I recommend utilizing this. It's a great way to also train the brain for beginner meditation. So how I would use this for beginner meditation is that I would count the breaths, or I would focus on the breathing of how it felt and just kind of really explore that with my mind while I'm focusing on how it feels. I might look at a flame while I breathe, or I might count my breaths. So one of those beginner things is just like we just did, we counted 5 breaths. Feels good to breathe. We would count that for as long as we needed to, very similar to counting sheep, so that's a great way to rest. Okay, great. So I hope that helps everybody calm down their nervous system. It's also a great way to clear energy if you're feeling a lot of stress, whether it be from the world, from yourself, from life, whatever. So I encourage you to use that whenever you can to calm your body and to heal more.